On this Friday of a long holiday weekend, Bronco Nation invades Seattle for a showdown with a team that it knows well. And of course, we sent sports director Paul Gerke, Roland Barris, and Mike Sharp into Husky territory to find out how everybody's getting ready for the big game. They are live with this On Your Sidelines report. Hi, guys.
Hey there, Michelle. Breaking news off the top tonight. There is a rat right behind us. It's sneaking up on our live shot, and it may pull Roland into the ocean. So if you see any of us jump, make sure to save it and put it on YouTube. It's roughly the size of a small dog.
And we wish we were kidding.
We can only assume that the rat lives here, but there are lots of people that don't live here that are in Seattle specifically for this game.
That's right, a lot of Boise State fans are in town ready for this game. We went all over town today. We experienced Seattle. We went to some of the places tourists typically go, as well as some of the places tourists may not typically go. We found out Boise State and Washington fans have differing opinions on what's going to happen tomorrow.
Boise State fans are filling the streets of Seattle, and they're here for more than just the cup after cup after cup of coffee.
Don't get me wrong, the coffee is great, but the city of Seattle is so much more than coffee.
The Broncos are here for football, and some of them had to jump through some interesting hoops to get here.
I did become one of the biggest donors, I think, this year to the Washington Athletic Association. We had to buy a lot of season tickets.
Kevin Loveless is a diehard Boise State fan, but now he's a season ticket holder for Washington. You see, he owns a Boise travel company, and to get the amount of fans that Seattle has wanted to be here, he had to buy 70 sets of season tickets to games in Seattle. That's 420 extra Husky games he's not going to.
Blue and orange is popping up in all the favorite tourist spots around Seattle, but if the Boise State fans are expecting to drown out UW, it may not be that easy.
You know, I think the Huskies want to come out and whoop some A, so to speak.
Husky fan Matthew Dillon will be there, and he says it's going to be loud. Fans told me they'd be loud enough to drown out any Boise State chants.
I didn't even know you guys had one. I'm sure I won't hear it.
But that'll all be worked out tomorrow. Today, the Broncos fans are fine with catching all the sights of Seattle and hoping the Huskies drop tomorrow's game.
Go Broncos!
Now, at this point, we haven't been able to get it confirmed, but we do believe the rat behind us is a fan of the University of Washington.
It may also be a Husky. It's a very large rat.
Definitely taking sides. But, you know, it's interesting. You have people who are either on one side or the other. I met a fan today who has been on both sides of the fence. He's a Boise fan now, but he used to be a diehard Husky fan. He had season tickets, but then he moved to Haley and changed allegiances. Bryant Dunn and his family, they love coming back to Seattle to visit, and I caught up with them at the famous Pikes Peak Place Market, where they introduced me to the joys of fresh oyster shooters. And then, when it comes to tomorrow's game, of course, Bryant will wear the blue and orange with pride.
Quite a homecoming, really, because I grew up every Saturday sitting in the stands at Husky Stadium. Tickets, family tickets for years and years. But I've transformed into an Idahoan long ago, so it's fun to come back here and wear the orange and blue for sure.
You got a lot of friends, I'm sure, that are giving you a hard time.
I am definitely getting a hard time, but we Idahoans are pretty tough. I think we can hack it.
You know, friends and even family members giving him a hard time about his allegiance with Boise State. But what's really nice is that everyone seems to be pretty cordial so far about the big game tomorrow.
Yeah, and that may all change tomorrow, especially considering some of the dynamic playmakers that'll be squaring off at Husky Stadium. Joe Southwick for Boise State, Keith Price taking snaps for the Huskies. They've got a lot of guys that could make a huge difference, including running back Bishop Sankey and a whole slew of defensive players that made an impact in the team's last meeting in the Mako Bowl. Linebacker John Timu, number 10, finished with 91 tackles last season. 15 of them came against the Broncos in the Mako Bowl. But according to the Broncos, he's not even the most dynamic defensive player on the team.
Hey, if a team beats you because they make plays and they got better players and all those things, okay, but so often early in the season, you know, guys can't get lined up and jumping off sides, and certainly that environment is going to make it tougher on us.
And it may get a little tougher for Boise State. The player that I was referencing was Shaq Thompson, a converted nickel, who, according to Joe Southwick, as a true sophomore, is maybe the most dynamic playmaker that the Huskies have to offer. I'm going to have much more about the preview of this matchup coming up a little later in the show in sports. For now, live at the pier and still looking out for a rat. Paul Gerke, Mike Sharp, Roland Barris, today's 6 on your side.
Hey guys, were the Husky fans cordial to you?
They were pretty nice.
All the Husky fans were very, very kind. Apparently one was a little rude to Roland when he found out he was a Ducks fan.
He said there are no Husky fans. We're all Ducks fans.
It really is true.
Yeah, not so much. All right, make sure the rat does not eat Paul, because we're going to come back to him for more in sports tonight. Thanks, guys.